Okay, so now I have a little piece of user interface that's more complicated than simply just showing the character on the screen or simply just showing the text description of the character. That's what we've seen before. Now I have your little control panel that tells the sort of the statistics, the stats, the current status of your character. And it reads out the level of the character. It puts a little piece of the image of the character on the screen, the name, the current focus, and the maximum focus. So if I equated focus with money, this is how much money you have in your pocket. The current focus and maximum focus is the maximum amount of money that you're ever allowed to have at one time. And then you spend that focus, you spend that money on engaging different abilities that you might need, just the same way you spend money to get things that you need to make it through the day. Okay, so it's easy to see how I get this stuff. I need the level, I need the image, I need the name, the current focus, the maximum focus, and the cost of using an ability. Remember, I'm going to pay for it in focus, so the cost of using an ability I need to have on the screen as well. Where am I going to get it from? Not just one table. So far we've been talking about one table queries, but I need the character, the ability, and the class table now in order to get all that information out. So I have to join them all together. I have to combine those tables in order to get the right information out. But again, I want it for a particular character, character 185732. That's what I want all this information from. And now when I have all that information, I can use it to fill in the blanks. And it's a little bit more like filling in the blanks here than building the character, but there's also a lot of calculation, a lot of processing that has to happen to make sure that, for example, the focus is turned from a number into an amount of green bar here. So 100%, if your focus is 100% of the current, then you'll have a bar that extends all the way across, for example. So there's also computation and calculation and processing in the creation of this user interface. So the upshot here is the data is stored in a very regular, very easy to understand form inside the database. I make a query to get the data out, and then I might have a lot of work to do in order to create a user interface. And that's really where I'm trying to get to in this set of lectures, is to show you that the data is one thing, but building a usable interface can be much, much, much more than simply just getting the data out and showing it on the screen. And in fact, that's where a lot of the focus is these days in information systems, is how do I best, most appropriately, most interestingly, most engagingly represent the data that I have. If I just showed you the data, in fact, in the World of Warcraft I could do that. I could just say, here's the database, watch it change. Wouldn't be a very fun game if I did that. But in fact, that's the only thing that World of Warcraft is really doing, is it has this database and it keeps updating all the data in the database. That's what's really happening in World of Warcraft. It's simply just storing and retrieving information in this database. Well, that's not interesting at all to people. What's interesting to people is seeing my character do battle with another character. But your character doing battle with another character really, in the end, is simply just data being stored and retrieved from the database.